Hello, this video is going to be for the guys and for the ladies to understand men better. This is going to be my fourth video doing a chapter by chapter book summary of the new male sexuality. For the previous videos, please go to my playlist. Today's chapter is about your conditions for good sex. And as we talked about before, there are so many unrealistic fantasy expectations about male sexuality. And one of them is, as discussed in this chapter, that a man should be ready to go at any time, that he's just some kind of a penis machine. And that is just not true. Men are not robots, and men have conditions for sex. So it's so important when I ask men constantly, like, what turns you on? What do you like? What do you not like? And some men know and some men don't, but I think this applies for us ladies as well, is to ask ourselves, what do we need to be turned on? And specifically, men also have certain conditions that must be met. Number one, definitely they want to feel safe. Usually they want to feel desired. Usually they want to feel connected. But there are other factors too, like if you're tired, you may not want to have sex. If you're stressed, if you've had an argument with a woman, if you're thirsty or dehydrated, if you have a big meeting coming up, you may not be in the mood for sex. So conditions are anything that maximizes your chances of reaching the goal that you want, increasing or decreasing your sexual desire, getting more aroused, enjoying sex more, delaying ejaculation, getting or keeping erections. When I say anything, I mean exactly that. The time of day, how tired or energetic you are, how sick or well you are, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your partner, what you do, what she does, how much privacy there is, or anything else that makes a difference to you. Men have trouble accepting this concept. Conditions remind men that you are not robots, that you're flesh and blood human beings with feelings and vulnerabilities. Of course, we have no trouble understanding that women have all sorts of needs and preferences. That's just how women are. But it just doesn't seem right to us men, and I'm reading from the book, that men should be the same. We're supposed to be different from women. We grit our teeth, disregard our feelings, will the ones that are necessary, and do our jobs, including the job of sex. Just give us an available partner, and one way or another, we'll be able to have good sex with her. Because of this attitude, we men feel ashamed of any needs and wants we have and try to hide them or pretend they don't exist. But this is destructive. Men are just as human as women, even though we try hard not to show it and have as many requirements. It is perfectly acceptable to be yourself, to have your own desires, anxieties, concerns, and style. He gives an example of Brad, a 36-year-old man who said that sometimes he ejaculated very quickly. And it turned out that it only happened when he felt that his partner, Lee, didn't care for him. Lee didn't immediately express her complaints, but saved them up until she exploded in 20 or 30-minute tirades. And Brad always came away feeling unloved after such an explosion. She felt much better after getting everything out. When Lee came on to him, Brad was aware of feeling terrible, but he was so anxious to regain her love, as he thought of it, he tried to go along. And that's when he lost his erections or came fast. I made a video yesterday about premature ejaculation, and that has to do with anxiety or not wanting to do it or wanting to get out of the situation. So pay attention to what's happening. Or also, if you don't get an erection, you just may not want to be there. You may be upset with your partner. You may not feel loved. You may not feel connected. I think these are healthy things. I think that porn has done a great disservice of treating men as these unfeeling, predator, caveman, sociopaths, pretty much. So he gives another example of Rob, who sometimes didn't feel in the mood for sex, and he found out that his partner wanted sex late at night when he was tired. So when he talked to her and they started having sex in the mornings when he was more awake, he started enjoying it a lot more. And he had to learn that he couldn't force a mood or a feeling, and that it was foolish to proceed in the absence of arousal. The idea of jump-starting feelings appeals to men. They want to jumpstart their feeling. I'm not in the mood, but I can jumpstart that penis. I can jumpstart that mood. It appeals to men because jumpstarting is a synonym for willing or forcing, and men have had lots of lessons about being able to force or will things, but it simply does not work in sex. You can't will or force an erection, and you can't will or force erotic feelings. Feel free to try it if you're not sure what I'm saying is correct. So just to give you some ideas of some things that other men have reported, here are a few common sexual conditions that men have reported to me, meaning the author of the book. Feeling connected and close to your partner. Many men need this as well. Absence of strong anxiety about performance. So that you know that whatever you do and whatever happens, it will be okay with her. That kind of goes with feeling safe to me. You know you'll get what you need from her in terms of attitude, response, and stimulation. Not feeling tired, ill, preoccupied, or under the influence of too much alcohol or other drugs. Feeling positive about the situation before it even starts. You're interested, you know she's interested, and you're both looking forward to a fun time. Feeling turned on, aroused, or sexually excited. Aside from the absence of performance anxiety, this is probably the most important condition for men. How to increase it will be in chapter 15, which, if I'm still in the mood to go through this book, I will do so. But otherwise, you can get this book yourself. So here are some examples. Physical stimulation as a condition. In a fantasy model of sex, men don't need physical stimulation. They see a naked woman and their penis points up to the sky. But in reality, some men need physical stimulation. They need to be touched in their body. They may need their penis touched. And especially men, as they get older, need direct penile stimulation to get and stay hard and to get emotionally excited. Next, foreplay. It's usually considered something that man does to the woman to get her ready for intercourse. But many men need this too, especially men as they get older. They need more connection, they need more touch, they need a little bit more time to warm up, they need more of that foreplay. I think that's a beautiful thing, to notice how your conditions may change over your lifetime. A real man is not someone who can live up to other people's standards and expectations, but someone who knows who he is and goes after what he wants and needs, even if those wants and needs are not on that woman's or anyone else's approved list. Another condition, time of day, we talked about this before, morning versus night people. Another common condition is being present. This is a huge one for me especially. It's the opposite of being preoccupied or spaced out. Many people are preoccupied by work. If the person you're with or you are thinking about something else other than being with in this moment together, it's not going to be as satisfying. It could be a turn off. The preoccupation about and stress over work can lessen one's desire for sex and also cause functional problems. You may have other conditions. Feeling desired, feeling wanted, feeling playful, having privacy, feeling attractive to yourself, to your partner. Your conditions may strike you as strange, unmanly, old-fashioned, or something you don't like. It's best to write them out and give them some thought. I personally always resist writing things out. They say it's helpful. I don't know, but at least giving it some thought and noticing, because when I was an escort, I would ask men, what turns you on? Even physically, what turns you on? And some men would know, especially as they got older, they would know and they would be able to tell me and verbalize it. But other men didn't know because they had not yet figured it out. So, and men are very unique in what turns them on. You know, how you like to be touched, how you like to be things done to, what you like to do. So get to know the unique you. With the exception of the rare instance where your conditions involve harm or pain to you or your partner, chances are excellent that no matter how new or unusual they seem to you at first, you can learn to accept and meet them. So here is an example from the exercise. He gives people an exercise in the book to write down to think about a few sexual experiences in which you were highly aroused and a few sexual experiences where you were much less aroused. And notice what were the factors. For example, you might notice high arousal. I was rested. I felt close to Cindy. I was not preoccupied with work. I wasn't in a hurry. Low arousal. I was feeling distant from my partner, Cindy. I was preoccupied in a hurry, thinking about a sales talk I had to give the next day, going over in my mind while I was caressing her, and I couldn't wait to get back to my typewriter. You can tell this is an older book, typewriter. I was exhausted, like I just flown back from Europe and I was out of it. So these are your conditions. And here are some other examples. And I'm going to say these just so that you can realize, you know, it's sometimes good to hear other people's examples. Mario, an ambitious and hardworking lawyer in his mid-30s, was troubled by sporadic rapid ejaculation. And so here's what he came up with. I need to feel Sue wants to have sex with me. I sometimes feel she's just doing it to please me, and that makes me tense, which in turn makes me come fast. I'd know she wanted sex if she initiated it, if she said she wanted it, if she physically and verbally indicated her enjoyment, or if she played an active role in physically stimulating me. So that's a need that he has, a condition to be aroused. He needs to feel that his partner, Sue, wants to have sex with him. Another need he has, I need to know she won't be upset if I do come quickly. The only way I can get this is to talk with her and see if it's okay to come fast sometimes. I need to be more focused on how aroused or nervous I am during sex. Then I can make the adjustments needed to last longer. A good way to do that is to focus solely on my own pleasure, what I'm doing and feeling. I have to keep in mind to focus on me and not her. Here's another list from a man whose goal was to enjoy sex more. I want to be able to express my adventurous ideas, but in order to do that, I'd like to know that she's not put off when I do it. I'd like to know that she's not put off by my expressions of pleasure. I've started to do things that excite me more and surprise me and making more noises and panting and screaming. I think it's okay to her, but I'd feel better if I knew for sure. Okay, and that ends the first section of the book. I think this is a really good book. Whether you're a man for yourself or whether you're a woman who wants to understand men more. So I hope that you'll check this out, and thank you for watching my video.